I'm really a classic career coach. In the United States, pretty much you go to college and sort of decide what you're going to do, and then you move on to the rest of your life. Well, for me, my plan was to do business. My major was business. I was going to go back to Miami, Florida, where I'm from, and start in business. But something happened where right at the end of my senior year, my coach, Richard Quick, he was an Olympic coach, a very famous coach. He gave me a chance to coach the little club team, so 60 little kids. The first day I started coaching, I loved it more than I ever did anything I did in swimming. So coaching got me right away. So that's where I started. And I stayed there for 6 years in Auburn. Then I coached 3 clubs that were very strong clubs in the United States, some of the best in the United States. Then in 1990, I got a chance to go back to Auburn University, where I went to college, and I began college coaching, which is normally the most prestigious job in the U.S. But Auburn wasn't very good. They were one of the worst teams in the country. And so over the next 4 years, and then the next 3 years, we went from being one of the worst to the best. And then we had a run of about 8 years where we won more national titles than any other team and became the most successful team rather than the worst team. Up until 2007, when we won both the men's and the women's national championship. And then I transferred back to club swimming and professional swimming. And I was one of the first coaches in the world probably to change from college coaching to focusing more on professionals like I did in 2007. So that all has brought me to Team Elite. Team Elite is a lot of why I'm here at T3, and so thankfully I keep discovering amazing things in our sport. T3 is one of my great new discoveries. Yeah, I think business administration applies to everything in life. So business is about sort of general preparation before you make decisions and take action. So the preparation has to do with what your plan is, what the marketing of the plan is, and then how you sell the plan along the way, and then how you deal with customers, okay? That's swimming too. We all have to understand that our responsibility is to the people we work with. Without the athletes, without the support of administration, we don't have our sport. So that definitely was a good foundation for coaching. Of course, I was way behind in physiology, nutrition, biomechanics, so I had to catch up in that, and I spent a lot of time studying that early in my career, and even to this day I continue to study, and I have mentors that teach me all the time. The biggest difference between the university coaching and professional coaching, which is what Team Elite really was designed around in 2007, is that when you're coaching a university, you have a team of 20 to 30 men, 20 to 30 women that you coach sort of all together with a lot of assistant coaches. And so really it's management of a lot of people, and to get a great result, you have to, of course, deliver a lot of your attention to the best athletes because you're relying on the most performance, but you have to be careful not to show too much favoritism. You have to, sort of keep things very fair, because that's part of athletics. And at the end of the day, and especially nowadays, the measurement the athletic administration has on sports like swimming, which are not sports that produce revenue like football and basketball, is that we have happy athletes. The difference between that and professionals is professionals are making the decision, usually beyond college, to swim, and for them, they're choosing it as a professional, so it's not really stoking their motivation or playing, games and trying to figure out how to find the team to move. They need to bring the motivation first, and then it's our job as a coach or professional to help them reach their goals, or maybe sometimes even to push them beyond what they think they can do. In both cases, it's a wonderful process. It's all about helping people get better. But the relationships, I'll say for a 10-year-old, is for a kid to just have fun, teach them to love swimming. That's all that's important. When they're in the younger ages, 11 to 15 years old, teach great stroke mechanics. They need to know how to swim perfectly, like Tomas is teaching the kids here every day. This is what you need to have at that age. And then through the college ages, that's performance, that's training, that's team camaraderie. Professional swimming, Now you're into international swimming. So you're competing in the ISL, you're competing in the World Championships, the University Games, and hopefully the Olympics, and hopefully earning medals and putting athletes on the medal stand. Yeah, Team Elite was started in 2007, and it became first a group of only 3 swimmers that moved to Charlotte. Cullen Jones was one of them, so we had an early high-level swimmer. And then Mark Gangloff, who also won a gold medal for the USA on a relay, and Jeremy Knowles. Jeremy Knowles is from the Bahamas, but an amazing young man that did great things. They sort of started Team Elite in 2007, and it expanded over the next few years to about 20 athletes that were all training with international competition ambition. Over the 3 different Olympiads we were at, so now in 2016, we had 8 swimmers that were in the Olympic Games, but the USA athletes had 5 different athletes win 8 medals. And if Team Elite had been its own country, it would have been 3rd in the medal rankings for all of the Olympic teams that were there. So it's done really well, and the format is such that with less people that I'm coaching, it allows me to really concentrate on the details that they need to develop. And we really dive into their mentality, we dive into their mechanics, we dive into their training needs, and then ultimately help prepare them for performance. So I think with less people, which is unusual in the United States. Usually in the United States, a coach is coaching 20, 30 people. I'm coaching about 12 right now from many different countries. And Team Elite is a place where they can come and they pay dues to swim with Team Elite, and not very much dues, but they pay something. And then we look for opportunities to compete and train in interesting places. And again, Tenerife Top Training has allowed us a place to come and experience a whole nother level of a little bit of Europe, a little bit of island feel, and a lot of beautiful facility. Yeah, the 3 big things they need is, number 1, they need to have a mindset for the Olympic medal, Olympic podium. That's what we want. That's the culture of the team. Even if they haven't been on the podium, we want them understanding their job is to move toward the podium. Number 2 is they need to contribute to the group, so they need to be positive contributors. So if they have a good mindset, they have good attitude, they work hard, they come to practice all the time, that helps. Thirdly, they need to be good role models for little kids, because we align with clubs. In San Diego, we align with Coronado Swim Association Team Elite. That's the club team that's under Team Elite. And Team Elite, the job is to inspire the younger kids to reach the next level. And that's why I have Marsh Swim Academy on Instagram, where I put a lot of my drills. We want to share with the world and with kids what they can do to get better. The job of Israeli advisor, and I'm the advisor for the Israeli Swim Association, is that I found it a great challenge. My first top athlete at Auburn University was Yoav Brook. He was from Israel. I actually coached him in high school, and he came with me to Auburn. And he made a giant difference in the speed with which we improved because of his attitude. He wanted to make the Olympics. He didn't really care about NCAAs as much, but the Olympics was his big goal. And just that attitude really changed things. Well, lo and behold, Yoav is one of the world's top ticket brokers for the Olympics. So he's the guy people get Olympic tickets from. He's at the Olympic Games, and in 2016, the USA won the most medals in the history of USA, and I'm the head Olympic coach. He says, "What can you do to help us in Israel? We really had a bad Olympic competition. What can we do?" And he proposed that they hire me to advise them. And that's sort of where it started, right there in Rio. After the meet was over, we sat down at a table. We might have had a cerveza, but we went talking about good old times in Auburn, but also about the future in Israel. And I love the project and the challenge of helping a country to raise its vision of what's possible. And I think we've been doing that steadily. And I think right now the Israeli team's on a good trajectory forward toward Olympic medals. There's also some very talented swimmers in Israel right now that are fortunately choosing to train well. And so being a part of that is very important. And then some of them, Nastia Gorbenko, Andy Mirez, and Meron Charuti, they moved to San Diego and swim with me all the time with Team Elite. So it's a nice combination where Team Elite, like here in Tenerife, they're able to train together. At the same time, they're able to travel to places like this and do training camps. So the goal is 1 + 1 = 3, not 2, right? That's the goal of putting these things together. My experience with Tenerife before I came here was 0. I didn't even know there was an island called Tenerife. I only know the Canary Islands. So when I heard there was a training camp here, and I'd heard many times before from European coaches, oh, top training, Tenerife Top Training is amazing. And so I didn't know what that meant. Getting here in January the first time, as soon as I got here to the facility, I was like, oh, wow, I get it. Not because necessarily the facility, but there's something special about the culture of the facility. You know, you look on the wall, you see pictures of Paul Bitterman, and you see pictures of former Olympic champions that have been here. Katinka Hosu is here training at that time. You know, you have some of the best swimmers in the world that have passed through here as they developed in their careers. So I think there's actually an aura about this place that raises it beyond just the standard of just being a swimming pool. My, of course, favorite is the flume. I love the flume. I love to work in the flume with technique. I love to swim at race speeds, and I love to discover new ways to have the athletes experience the water. And that's one of the things I really loved about it. But I think the most impressive thing about Tenerife Top Training is the attitude of the people around. And everything from the top administrators down to the people who are cleaning the deck and the bathroom and pulling the tarps at night. They just have a great spirit here. It's a great atmosphere. You can feel the positive energy. And that makes a giant difference when you're trying to get athletes ready for the highest level. There's no like smug faces. Everybody's got good energy. Everybody around here knows they're trying to help support athletes at the highest level. And even the swimmers that come in the middle of the day, from the local swimmers, the Canary swimmers that come and train here a little bit, they love to interact with our athletes, and it's a great positive interaction. So I'm a big fan now. For sure, I'll be coming back, and I can't wait to come back even on a routine and a rhythm so I can make this part of my refreshing experience in the sport. One of the things I love about coaching is being creative. I'm a left-handed, right-brained, ADD, crazy thinking coach. So they call me the mad scientist back in the United States because I'm always trying to tinker with things. So sometimes we'll break our practices into circuits. We'll take little chunks and we'll focus on one particular action. So of course I love the flume, so I stay in the flume and I'm talking to the kids about adjusting some stroke techniques and mechanics. So that's what I really love. We are playing with starts because always when you look at the Olympic performance, starts and turns make a big, big difference. So it gives us a chance to really dive into one aspect of the start. Other stations are learning how to improve dolphin kicking and body dolphin kicking. You can never kick fast enough, so we're always working on improving that kick. So these are things that during a circuit we try to make sure that we get in and in a creative way so that Coach Luca and Coach Hanan and Javi, my assistant back in San Diego that's with me, they're able to give their personal instruction in their own way to give their flair to how they can improve in different pieces of swimming. And that's when we break into circuits, that's what that's all about. Well, the Tokyo Olympic Games, first of all, most important thing, I think we all have to just be grateful that we're having a Tokyo Olympic Games, because I think there was a window of time there where it looked like we might not have the games. And so one, I'm just thankful to God that we have in this thing, honestly. Second thing is the responsibility of every coach is to prepare their athletes the best they can. And that's really the only thing we're trying to do is prepare them so that they can perform. Ultimately, the athletes step out on the deck by themselves without the coaches, and they have to do their performance. So that's what we're asking for. In the United States, we still have Olympic trials. The hardest meet in the world is the Olympic trials. So to try to get through the Olympic trials into the Olympic Games is right now all we can concentrate on. We can't think about the Olympic Games for the Americans. Now for my internationals and the Israelis that are pre-qualified, we're able to look at the Olympics and then prepare enough meets in a window of time to have them sharp by the time they get the Olympics. And certainly training here at Tenerife Top Training is part of that plan, where during this camp, we've done some of the most specific and hard training sessions that we've had all season about specific race preparation. So all these things sort of fit into a rhythm and a routine. And as we get ready for the Olympics, we will march in grateful, but also competitive. And from the groups that I work with, we hope we can earn medals. But honestly, if you just go to Olympic Games and perform your best time, you have a great chance to accomplish great things. Another twist is with preliminaries, semifinals, then finals in most events, you have to understand how to get through those rounds, because now it's going to be on 3 days. Always in the past, other than Beijing, it was on 2 days. So now we have 3 days to do one event, and so the best event needs to be probably semifinals to make sure they make finals, and then in finals, if they give their best performance, often they'll end up on the podium.